Greetings, my fellow administrators, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Sumerians, Episode 6, Administration. Here we go. So we do have the temple admin. I'm going to make it blue. Or no, red. Red matches the walls. And max out the workers, and then max out what we feed them and all. So if you take a look, I have 10 temple admin and 50 scribes. And if we take a look at our research speed, the 10 scribes in the temple admin provide more than almost double what the 50 scribes do. So it's a huge jump. So let's work on the East Temple first, and then we'll work on the West one. And I will, as we build more of the temple administration, I will phase out the old Council of Elders, as they won't be relevant anymore, and they're actually just dreadfully inefficient comparatively. So without that hospital, I can fit more houses. That's right. In fact, let me rezone this house too. I think I could fit more if I get rid of the original one. There's clearly a high demand for housing, because like, as soon as I zone for one, they're like, okay, moving in. With no delay whatsoever. Or almost no delay. And we might be coming up to the point now at about just shy of 3K people that we'll need to expand our state farms and add a new farming area. But with all the lovely irrigated areas that we have, that should be no problem at all. And I'll want to center that around the pottery and brewery workshop, so I'll probably just add state farms here. And maybe move this transporter. I'll just move the transporter now. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I think it's more than reasonable to start to get carts. So current priority now is to build government admin or temple admin and use oxen carts. So I'm going to start to upgrade all of our transporters from what they're using now to oxen carts. So in order to do that, we'll get a small oxen field there. And I'm going to need builders to build that. And also build the fabrics workshop that I've been neglecting. Question for you guys in chat. Well, no, I'm not going to ask that yet. So what I was going to ask is, you can actually get to a point where if you supply linen and sesame oil, you don't need sheep anymore at all. And you can phase that out. Because there's two types of textiles. As you can see up here, there's dyed wool and fabrics. And you can just, if you get up to here, you can phase out needing wool entirely. But because it's going to be, I might not even get to a point where we just have sesame oil and linen. I don't think it makes sense for me to phase that out at the moment. Oh, here we go. The next admin building is all set. Let's get a third. And our research should be kind of flying now. Comparatively. Yeah, way more daily science. So much more. So oxen are just cattle that are, you know, used for hauling, right? Spitfire, thank you for the resub. And that will be reflected here once we get an oxen field. There is a small section of the old town walls that have not been upgraded yet. But I do have builders within the sphere of influence of that. So I think it's only a matter of time. We're just about to see that happen now. Where the old town's going to be fully walled in. And I do want the temple housing to be walled in next. There we go. The current wall level of Old Town is all brick wall. So as soon as security and health is up to high, the Old Town will get level 4 housing. Which is nice. Let's get this wall up to brick as well. Which means I don't think I need these builders anymore. Or brickyard. They're not being used. Probably not these transporters either, because this guard's already in. So get that gone. Put a house in there instead. Can I fit a house in here? Because I realize, like, homelessness is probably my biggest problem. The other thing that I could do, which there's no penalty to do, really, is to just zone homes, like, out here. Right? So that I don't have homelessness. These guys aren't really going to pay taxes, but it will solve the any homelessness that I have. The thing about that is, as I just realized, as I'm offering more homes, it's going to drive up more immigrants. So let's also pair that with a new state farm. I did say that I wanted a bridge here, so I'm not gonna block that area with farming at the moment, so that we can eventually build that bridge out to the sort of island that's over there, allowing for fishing for the more fish, because there's not a lot of like actual river in this little Gilgamesh of ours, so we're gonna need to maximize the amount of fishing that we have access to. Yeah, grain's really low, actually dangerously. I allowed for like a pop boom without matching it with added growing. So hopefully this harvest will tide us over, and we will we'll try to not have a famine. So here's a fabrics workshop. I'm going to reduce it down to like, I don't know, 2 workers because we don't need that many. And they're going to be working wool. And I'm going to give them beer to do it. And then this livestock is actually for ox. And I'm going to keep it max, because I have a huge cattle field. So the 4 workers are going to be making ox wagons for transport. So once we start to get oxen in the livestock oxen region, I'll start to roll out oxen transporters instead of donkey ones, so that we can move even more grain. Oh, and our last temple area got done. So I'm going to set it up so that, oops. Kind of have it look designed. There. So with that done, let's do the west section. And to free up more state workers, these council of elders are just so inefficient. I'm just going to knock it all down, because they pale in comparison to the research speed of the scribes. It was like 70 and 300. There's really no point in keeping the 70 anymore. With some of those freed up workers, let's get another brick field. Because there is still a lot more brick projects out in the east section to do. And yeah, you can actually start to see some of these houses going up. So taking a look at our homelessness. Joblessness is kind of up, but homelessness is 0. For joblessness, I'll start to do citizen farming out this way. Oops. That was a misclick. There. That's plenty of citizen farming for jobs. And we're getting oxen now for transport. So, new transport is going to be right here. This is an oxen transport, so you can see the circle's huge. And this is going to be a food transport. This is only going to be really for grain. And it costs bricks. I might actually need a brick field near there. So I just realized that, like, the only one I had, I phased out. Looking good. That's weird. Pretty sure I told them to keep 2 for livestock. Clearly they never did. So another reason why things were getting transported more slowly is somehow or another, in all that mess, I told my donkey breeders to stop keeping donkeys in stock, which was a mistake. I'm going to tell the grain transporters, which is a little dangerous given my... let's not do that. Tell these transporters to not use donkeys at the moment, so that some of the donkeys can be transported back to livestock. I guess it doesn't really matter if I'm changing over to oxen, though. It's a problem that's going to work itself out pretty soon. So yeah, let's not even worry about that. Soon we'll just have oxen transporters, cart transporters. These builders are doing a big fat nothing now. Let's get rid of them. And put in some housing instead. Surprised I have so many jobless, considering I have so many citizen farms, but I guess my citizens don't want to farm anymore. Don't worry, they'll be hired as oxen transporters soon. So that's almost built. Or mud pit workers. Or farmers. Oh, yeah, the farming is open. I totally forgot. So yeah, with the new farming fields, I'll hire 20 new farmers, and as you can see, they're already starting to sow these new fields. So that will keep our grain up. And I'll add more fields if I feel like I need them. Icefire, thank you for the resub. Cheers, dude. There we go. Let's have this be a blue one. Now, one thing to note is I'm not providing cured meat for them anymore. So I'm going to hire a few more meat curers to try to keep up with the demand. We did, however, get a big milestone that whizzed by me. We managed to get trade route. So let's get a trade route going. Now, the trouble with trade route, each port that you have can only trade with one city. each port is dedicated to a specific city. So if we want to import copper and timber, they come from different places, meaning that we are going to need multiple ports for that. Meaning that I'm going to need to free up a lot of waterfront for my ports, which is not great for the things that were once put on the waterfront. But like, you know, our needs are more important than fishing. So there we go. We have a port. Also, the oxen carts got done. So oxen carts I'm going to hire up to max. I'm going to start to phase out the old donkeys. And these guys are going to, as you can see, they're already working. They're going to be able to pick up a whole lot of hay, and in a huge bunch of it as well, to move it to storage. So almost immediately, as soon as I got the oxen cart, you can see that our grain amounts shot up like crazy. Because ox cart transport is really, really, really good at transporting high volumes of stuff. So yeah, we have like record amounts of grain all of a sudden, even though I don't have that many significantly more farmers. The benefit is real. Copper metallurgy is almost done. Sweet. And I might go from tin and bronze as well, so that I can make bronze weapons instead of copper ones. So yeah, these ox carts are also delivering bricks to the port. And I do have a builder that I think covers the region of the port. Yeah, they're walking to it. So soon we're going to have our first port. So current priority is now set up copper trade to supply high health and security. So the big push now is to use the wool from our textile workshops to have high health levels, which is as soon as these guys get supplied the wool, the health level of our buildings now will go up. And there they are, health high, and then security high. So security high requires copper weapons, and copper requires a port to import the copper, and then a metallurgist to make the weapons. There's something wrong with that livestock that it wasn't allowing me to buy donkeys. So I'm going to make a new livestock zone for them. Yeah, I really like the increased efficiencies as well. Ooh, we might have an epidemic. So down here, go to Epidemic. We got some sickness there. And I have burned out, I've like burned the epidemic. I did it so quickly you didn't see. Angry God has finally abandoned our city after 14 days. The epidemic spread across 1 block of houses. 0 people have died. Good. Manage that kind of automatically and on its own. Wasn't really paying a lot of attention. We do still have job lists. Not too worried about that. We do have a lot of state worker capacity that I have not really put to good use at the moment. So, I think with our smoked meat curing demands, I will hire more meat curers, and then to couple with that, I'm gonna expand our ranches because we're gonna need more meat to meet. We're gonna need more meat to meet our meat demands. God, English can be a weird language, right? Do I have builders out that way to build these though? I've got these builders. And these builders are actually almost done with their work, because the temple admin building that I've got going on now is kind of, maybe I'm just going to make it red to match the walls. The temple admin building here is almost done. But I don't think I have builders close enough to there to build that, so toss them out that way. Look at the barley I have now. Yeah. And that's my currency. Oh, so here I have port workers. So I'm going to reduce my port workers down to like 1 because I don't need that many. And I am going to have them. So some of these places are locked out because I haven't unlocked them in the research tree. But I can go to either northern Mesopotamia to buy my copper, or I can go to Sumerian cities to sell my stuff. Never mind. So let's go to northern Mesopotamia and try to buy copper until we have... We'll keep... Come on, let me hit 100. Fine, 101, whatever. To buy 101 copper. And I'm going to have this... I'm not going to do high priority yet, but high priority allows you to do it quicker. So every year, we're going to import some copper. And I think... I already have metallurgy researched. So actually, let's make this high priority, where we pay a higher price of grain for the copper. I'm going to reduce the quantity so I don't, like, bankrupt ourselves and starve. But what we're doing with this is we are getting a metallurgist to then turn that copper into weapons for our guards. So I'll put this right next to our cart transporters. Put metallurgy there. And the ranches off in the east are getting built too. Good. Good. Oh, sweet. The last temple district is now done. So we have... I'm not going to get any more scribes, but we get about 500 daily science, which is great. So the next thing I'm unlocking is a tin trade, a cedar trade, and bronze weapons. And cedar is required to be imported from Lebanon to build a big temple, which is going to go here. Look at the grain. It dropped to like 900 and it's getting delivered now. Because these ox carts are just like hoovering it up. Oh, 3K. But one thing to note is the immigration that we have right now is very low as a result of our religious influence being low. So another way to increase religious influence is to get the pigment dyeing going. So I'm going to set one up now for pigment dyeing. So that would be fabrics dyeing, and I'm going to have that right next to our fabrics workshop. Just copy rotation. There we go. Okay, I apparently can't click today. And this will allow us to dye some of the wools into dyed wool, and then use that dyed wool to increase the... Oh, I see. Some of our pottery was stolen from the small temple. But to increase our temple's religious authority or religious influence by 20%. But that's only going to do so much. Then we're going to need a big temple to increase immigration even more. I'm going to keep this livestock closed until I have more state workers. Oh, metallurgist. I don't need too many metallurgists. I'm going to do 2. And they're going to be making copper weapons. So let's move some... Actually, I don't even need builders here. Just close the building. Move some metallurgists in. And they're going to start making copper weapons for me. So let's track our copper, which we have 200, which is insane. So stop importing it so fast. In fact, don't import like 18 at a time. I went super grain bankrupt because I left that on high priority buy constantly, and we like just destroyed the amount of grain that we had. So that was self-inflicted, my mistake. And we might suffer now from it, unless we get a big harvest immediately to bail me out. So yeah, okay. Huge die-off, because I'm an idiot. Didn't notice. So yeah, that's what happens when you run out of grain late game. You get a smoking ruin. And this will be fixed once another harvest season goes through and like people start to immigrate again. But the percentage of people that now work for the state is going to be a lot higher. Because of so many people have died from that. It's bad. Yeah, I'm on expert difficulty. It is bad when it's mismanaged like that. And all that it took was me accidentally buying too much copper too quickly. That's it. So we're going to track our copper and copper weapons. And we actually already have copper weapons, so let's set our guard posts up to high. And I'm not going to bother setting the guard post down here up to high. And the reason for that is this guard post, even on high, the cities, the houses around it don't need higher security to upgrade. They need brick walls, so there's no point in having nicer guard posts, well-equipped guard posts. It won't benefit me in any way. How many died? It was like 1,700. I could also check the population tracker here. That would be here. So I went from 31 to 1,900. Thunk. A famine year. We'll climb back up. Not too worried. As you can see, our grain amount is enormous now. So, the big news is that our central Old Town is now tier 4. Because we have supplied high security, high health, and a brick wall. The next tier is very high security, very high health, and a high wall. So high walls are even yet another upgrade of brick walls, which require measurement standards as research. And then the very high security requires bronze weapons, which we're actually working towards right now. We're getting the tin trade route and the bronze weapon route. And then the high health requires sesame oil, which requires a trade route with the Indus Valley. But once you get that trade route with the Indus Valley, you can actually grow your own sesame. It's a cash crop that you can grow yourself that's just locked until you get the Indus Valley trade route. But yeah, you can see that the city was decimated. More interesting is that the nicer parts of the city up here are getting repopulated faster than the crummier parts of the city because there's better services up this way, which I find that's a level of intelligence for the game that like I think I'm maybe a little surprised by. So finally, we can build bridges if there's space. Yes, there is. Oh yes, glorious. So I had access to the other types of bridges, but they don't allow boats, which is kind of a problem. So now we can have a proper bridge out to this area, and then this area can then house maybe more trade ports, because we're going to want at least 2 more, like 1 more trade port. So I'll put. I can actually, what I could do is I could put my trade ports out here, and then have this be fishing. I'll put a little, like, a little warehouse there. Now the question is, do I have... No, I don't have builders that can work out that way. I'm going to temporarily pause this. I'm going to change the route here to buy 35 cedar logs from Lebanon instead of continually buying copper. I have enough copper that will have metal tools for a long time. In fact, I'm going to reduce my metallurgist down to 1. So our demand for metal tools is not that high. I created a black market. So the reason to import the cedar logs is for the big temple. Not that I think I'm going to get there this stream because I'm almost out of time, but just to show you that you can import logs. And because the temple requires 20 to build and then you're done, I can actually just buy, like, let's say 17 more. I'll do 18 because I can't select 17. And that's all I would need. Now, the temple does have an upgrade where you can spend it much like this to get it nicer. And that reminds me, I should start tracking my fabrics, which I have 0 because I don't have anyone working there because I'm having them try to do linen. All right, there we go. So now we're actually getting fabrics. Did that as a... Oh, done. High priority, already done. Nice. And then we can go... Did I get tin? Yes. Let's, no, that's still locked. Yeah. We're still researching our tin route. I believe this small temple actually requires flax fabrics, not dyed wool. Which, if you're wondering what that means, is I would need... let's actually get rid of this cattle field and put a state field in here instead with a farmer. And this state field is going to be for flax. And then this fabrics workshop is... I'm going to need a second one to turn... Wrong thing. I'm going to need a second one to turn the flax into linen. So I'll get that going in a second as well. And then I'll need another fabrics dye to turn the flax or the linen into dyed linen for the temple upgrade. Oh, my builders are working now. Sweet. Get even more of them. I will need a canal bridge. You were right. They're going to have a hard time working over there, aren't they? In fact, I'll put a canal bridge here for that livestock. Put one here and here. Now, there's a lot of like mismanaged places and a lot of work places that are just like not efficient. So like this transporter donkey, I'm going to totally phase out now. Just do pure oxen hauling. And then let's get another oxen hauler for this area, phasing out the donkeys for productivity, for production. phasing out this one and that one. The bridge is done. This warehouse is going to be empty for now, but this warehouse is eventually going to be for copper, tin, anything imported. So copper, tin, cedar logs. Actually, just copper and tin is the things we're going to regularly import for bronze weapons for high security. So just copper and tin will be there. I'll just put one worker in there for now. So we're waiting on these ports, and these ports will be set up for a periodic copper and tin import for bronze weapons. Good, good, good. Don't need that. The city has almost fully bounced back. The old city and the... Excuse me. The old city and the temple district has bounced back. All the houses are back in. Increasing security a little bit. So we have nicer houses. More high taxpayers. There we go. So fabrics and fabric dyeing. I don't need that many farmers for just one field of flax. So now we have a flax setup. The oxen cart's almost done being built. And Terracatons, thank you for gifting out a sub. So this dyed wool is not useless. It just can't be used to upgrade this temple. But what it can be done is it can be offered up to certain businesses for a, efficiency boost. I can't think of the... Like, I could maybe offer it to... What am I lacking most? Meat curing? Yeah, maybe I'll offer it to the meat curers. So they cure meat quicker. Because we have tons of meat curers, but we just don't have a lot of meat. I could build another meat curer, or I could just have them work faster with the dyed wool. Which makes perfect sense. Alright, so this is cart transport. It's going to be high priority production. And that means I don't need the donkey haulers here anymore. I also don't need this many brick workers anymore. I don't have big brick projects going on. So I'm going to reduce that workforce down to like a bare minimum. I like to put it down to 1 instead of 0 unless I really need the labor force. So at least they're constantly working and it's kind of a set and forget. Because if I set it to 0, then, if I forget to turn that back on, I'm sort of like screwed. Because no one's working there. Some other nice to haves at this point would be, things like a warehouse so I could store things in higher quantity around the production facility. So I'll put a warehouse. I wish it would fit there. I'll put a warehouse here and just put a canal bridge to connect to it. So the oxen cart haulers can bring to the warehouse. And maybe set up orders if I care to. And then something else that would be nice would be a granary. As I have tons and tons of grain, and I'm constantly running out of space for it. So like put a granary here next to all the farm fields, so I can store the state grain next to where the brewery is, because that's what uses the grain the most. But I think this is where it's going to end, because I am officially out of time. Thank you for tuning in to Sumerians, which originally streamed live on Twitch November 28th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, a link can be found in the description of this video or at Rhadamant.com. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream of another game. Farewell, my fellow Sumerians,